Hello, my name is Pisi Bethania Titalessy from Duta Wacana Christian University Indonesia. I would like to present my research paper titled Analysis of Education and Socio-Demographic Factors on Labor Force Participation, Case of Indonesia. So for the introduction, let me tell you about the labor force participation rate. The labor force participation rate, according to an international labor organization, ILO, is the fraction of the working age population 15 years old and over, currently employed and or actively looking for employment. So, labor force participation rate is important for many reasons. The first one, it plays a central role in studying the factors that determine the size and composition of a country's human resource and predicting its future labor supply. And the second, it is an investment in policy formulation, especially policies related to employment. Among other things, it helps to determine training needs as well as to calculate the expected working life of the population and the rate of the economic participation and withdrawal. And this is our key information for the financial planning of the social security system. And the third one is to understand the labor market behavior of different types of population. So, according to the previous study, so Collison in the 1979 said that labor force participation is driven to varying degrees by economic and social factors, and then understanding the factors that affect labor participation, such as age, gender, or race, is essential to assess current and future economic conditions. It's according to Kranz in 2013. So, Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco also said that the maximum or sustainable rate of economic expansion depends to a large extent on the increase in labor. So we can say that labor force is important things to boost the economic growth of a nation. Here is the data of labor force participation in Indonesia. We can see from the graph, so fluctuative. The graph is so fluctuative. In the past 2 decades, Indonesia has undergone rapid economic and social transformation, which has affected the structure of labor, supply behavior, and labor demand. The Central Statistic Agency, or Badan Pusat Statistik, reported that Indonesia total labor force reaching 139.18 million people in February 2019. But however, in the next year, in the 2020, the labor force participation rate in Indonesia dropped to 67.8%. So there is a drop, there is a decreasing in the 2020, and it could be because the COVID-19 pandemic. So from the background, from the definition of labor force participation, that is important and it can help a nation to boost the economic growth, the development. So it is important to see what factors that affect the labor force participation, especially in Indonesia, because Indonesia has so many population. So it is essential to Indonesia find the determinant of the labor force participation. So from the background, I made some hypotheses. So the first one is the education level. We can see from here, I write the hypothesis. When education level increases, so finding a job and working will be easier, so they can work. And the second one is about gender. So we can see women or men that will be easier to get a job. And also from age. So when the age increases, working will be easier, but maybe until the middle age. And also from marriage or status perspective, marriage brings some response. We can see married people or unmarried people who get work, who get a job easier or not. For data and methodology, this research is descriptive quantitative research, uses a quantitative approach, and I running the regression analysis with this data 14, and it is use logistic regression or logit like discriminant analysis is used to test whether or not the probability of the occurrence of the dependent variable can be predicted by the independent one. And the data is got from SUPAS data, from Statistik Indonesia, which was conducted in 2015, and the data includes totally 1,099,217 respondents in Indonesia, and divided male and female, and the sample limit by using the variable is our highest educational level attended, gender, age, and marital status. Here is the equation model. So you can see the chromatrix model, and the results of logit regression show that education, gender, age, and marital status have significant and positive impact to the labor force participation. So the result of analysis, the coefficient of education is 1.177269. This means that the higher the level of education is, the ability to get job will increase by 1.17%. And the second variable is gender. Show that empirical results on gender are unsurprising, given that female labor supply to the market has larger elasticities than that of male. And the third variable, age, has an influence on the ability of labor force participation. So for older people, working will be easier, but only until the middle age. And the last variable, marital status, the coefficient is 1.697169. It has a significant and positive value. So people who are married have more 1.69% which enter job than people who are single or unmarried. Alright, for the conclusion, so the study shows that an individual's decision to participate in the labor force is influenced by education, gender, age, and marital status. If a person graduates from college or upper education, they have more chance to be employed than they who have lower education level. In this situation, we can say that graduating from college is an important determinant for labor force participation. Furthermore, marital status also has a positive effect on the labor force participation. We can say that when people get married, probably they tend to work both the male and female because they can share the expenses of household. Consequently, the education and labor force participation links should inform government policies. Public policies focus on increasing participation at all educational levels, on completing educational levels, on minimizing dropout rates, and on offering alternative or flexible vocational and employment-based education or schooling models, some of which are already being done. It's all of them. And furthermore, the education and labor force participation link provides another measure of government program effectiveness in both education and also other internal and external variables that can affect labor force participation, such as the number of families, health level, and so on, can be further investigated to obtain more significant results. In the maybe in the next research, like the other variable more included for getting more sweet results. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for the attention.